friends, Dree here with CVV Entertainment with a House of the Dragon review. As you can see with my clothes getup, I am a huge fan of this type of content. Sci-fi, fantasy, and action. Oh, how I love it. And House of the Dragon absolutely excites me. Let's dive right in.
House of the Dragon episode 7. First off, let me say there are some bad kids in there. Those kids are so bad. They are baby kids on steroids times 1,000. Those kids are so bad. Okay, but before I get to the bad kids, I want to say that this episode, what I really appreciate about it is that it was theatrical, in my opinion. Out of all the episodes that I've seen up until this point, I really enjoyed the theatrics of it, the music at certain scenes, and it's kind of drawn out, and it was a lot, I felt like it was a lot more music, and it was a lot more slower paced in some of the segments to really give that theatrical feeling. I really enjoyed that. But I'm going to talk about right now what you see on the screen, Damon and Rhaenyra. Listen, they do the do. And it wasn't like when they went to that brothel, honey. They were on the beach and taking their time. And so, okay, answer my question, which I probably should have known from the last episode because Damon has kids. So there's no impotence going on there. All right, none at all. So anyways, it was very kind of romantic. You know, the romance scene, it could have been a little more hot and heavy. You know, the first time, it was okay, but it could have been a little more passionate, but maybe that's me. Maybe I'm gonna be biased because, you know what I'm saying, I kind of like Damon. That's what it is. All right, so, but anyways, and then they get married. They get married quietly and secretly. I'm gonna rewind in a moment, all right? But they get married just with their kids there, all right? So they tie the knot. So I want to pause right here to let you know that I have not looked at what is coming up on season 8. I did not look at the previews just yet, and I did not listen to the director's chat. I will do that after I record this video. So this is just my review simply based on episode 7. All right, let's get back to what do I want to say. All right, Alicent, we know that she has it within her, okay? She pulled a knife on Rhaenyra and cut her, all right? Yes, you heard me right. I'm telling you all the highlights, okay? So you're going to have to go back and listen to the episode. Yes, this is a highlight. Alicent pulled the knife, all right? So long story short, Alicent is like not playing. She's coming to a point that she's not playing when it comes to her kids, when it comes to her throne, all of the above. And now all of that stuff is starting to boil over and she is just taking matters in her own hand. All right. Fine. Now that you got that, that was a really juicy part. Let me tell you what led up to all of that. Now we get into the bad kids. The bad kids. I don't think I can call them baby kids. Maybe I could call them, I don't know. I don't know, but honey, they're bad. So here it is. The youngest boy, which is Alicent's youngest son, all right, Aemon, I believe is his name. Okay, so here's the deal. And I'm just going to, like I said, these are the highlights. He is determined to get him a dragon. Like he wants to be a dragon rider. He wants to own a dragon. So his little bad butt sneaks out at night, goes over to where Damon's I guess where these little other kids, his cousins and stuff, is sleeping. Basically, I believe it's the home. I'm not sure where it is. I don't know if they are back in town and they brought the dragon with them because, long story short, in the beginning, everybody has come together for Laena's funeral. So that is the scene. That's why everybody is back. The Hand, Alicent's father, everybody comes back like it's like a reunion, some unfortunate one for a funeral. You know how it goes, where you haven't seen people in a long time and everybody come together. So I'm not sure if the dragon had come with them to you know where the king's palace is. But long story short, this little bad boy, honey, he sneaks out at night, runs and steals him a dragon, honey. He is carjacking dragons, all right? He is, well, I guess you can't say carjacking. He's jagging. He's dragon jacking. He is dragon jacking, all right? And he goes over and he steals Laena, who is deceased. He steals her dragon. And so he gives it all the commands and stuff. And so pretty much he takes control of the dragon. He hops on the dragon, flies away. The little kids, his cousins who are sleeping, wakes up to the sound and like, whoa, somebody just stole my mom's dragon who was recently deceased. So the little girls tells the cousins and like, what? So honey, anyway, Aemon is riding his dragon like it's nothing. And he rides it, he rides it back to the palace. And basically, I don't know what happens. He rides the dragon. I guess he brings the dragon back. And then Eamon got the nerve to walk into where the other kids are, his cousins and stuff. And he's confronted, especially by the little girls, because that was their mom's dragon. Saying, "Why'd you steal our dragon?" He goes, "What? I'm back. I don't know. I'm paranoid." He's like, "What?" He's like, "What? I'm back." And so he is really disrespectful. He's really bad. And then he just starts saying, "Yeah, well, your mom is gone. So if it was," and the little girl's like, "Well, I have claim to the dragon." He was like, "Well, you should have claimed it then." You know what I'm saying? Like, he is just totally out of control. I'm trying to tell you, this little boy is out of control. So then he's like, "Okay, yeah, I took the dragon. It's my dragon now." It's like it's my dragon now. And then so they get upset, the kids start fighting. But then, of course, Eamon has to stir the pot. He calls those two little boys, Rhaenyra's little boys, bastards. All right. Because again, we go back to that. Everybody knows the deal. And that sets off. So at first, y'all, I was like, okay, this is like a little kids fight. You know, the typical the kids fight. Just like think about some kids in the room, they fighting over toys. But honey, this thing escalates to murder. Well, not murder. Oops. Look at that. That's the feeling I had, I guess I should say. As I was watching that scene, I just knew somebody was going to get killed. I just knew somebody was going to die. But it escalated really bad. And so pretty much the one of the little boys, and he's a tough little boy. I remember him in another scene when his father, who we know is not really Rhaenyra's husband. It's a knight. Not one of the knights, Strong's. His last name is Strong. I forget it it starts with H. Anyways, we've seen this little boy. He is pretty swift with his sword, right? He may be little and kind of short, you know. He's little, but he means business. When he bring his little sword out, he's not playing. So that's what happened to Aemon. Aemon got his eye cut out. Basically, he lost his eye. He got it. Little boy sliced his eye. All right. And he lost his eye, basically. So it's this big hoopla. Of course, you know, they're all cousins. You got from Targaryen to Valerian. These are families. And then you really also, like I said, those two little boys who belong, they're really last names are Strong. All right. So that's a mix. And I said it before. I said it back a couple episodes ago. I said that, you know what? All of this stuff is going to boil over with Rhaenyra having these kids with this other man. I mean, and so the little boys are growing up knowing that they're that. Oh my gosh, I can't think of Rhaenyra's husband's name. Honey, you know which one I'm talking about. He's her husband. Her husband. That's not their father. So of course, all this chaos is breaking up because everybody knows everything. So, anyways, let's fast forward. So you heard all the fight broke out. Home little boy lost his eye. They stole the dragon. That fast forward to what Alicent was like, "I'm not having it. You know what? I need an eye for an eye, period. I need an eye for an eye." She was like, "Your son took my eye. Your son took my son's eye. And so now we're going to take your son's eye." And Rhaenyra was not having it. Let me tell you something. For real. I was just like, oh no, honey. I would not have been cordial at all. Rhaenyra was cordial. Baby, I would not have been cordial. You will never, ever stand in front of my face and say something like that. I'm going to come at you, period. I would not have been calm about that at all. Like you would have got, you know what I'm saying? But so Rhaenyra did not do that. And so Alicent took matters in her own hand because she was like, she asked her husband, Rhaenyra, like he said, Viserys to take out the little boy's eye. He said, "Are you mad? Are you crazy?" Then he asked Sir Kirsten. Alicent asked Sir Kirsten because I guess she done got so goody two shoes with him, and she thinking that she could just tell him, "Hey, go and take this little boy's eye out. He gonna jump." Sir Kirsten did not. Sir Kirsten did not jump. Okay, he may be crazy, but he ain't crazy. All right, so he didn't do that. So now Alicent goes and then after her husband, the king, says no. Then Alicent thinks she gonna take it upon herself and say, "Well, me as the queen, I ordered that his eye be taken out." And it's a no-go. Okay, you can't go. You're not going above the king. All right, so that's just what it is. So I guess Alicent tried to take matters in her own hand and grabs, I don't know whose sword that was. It could have been the king's sword. And gonna go after the little boy to take his eye out. Now, it's always something in one of these episodes that I don't understand. And here, it never fails me. I don't understand why Daemon was there. Daemon saw that Alicent was going with the knife to Rhaenyra's kid. And then, of course, Rhaenyra jumps now she's going to go and stop Allison, period. Allison has a knife in her hand. Rhaenyra goes to stop her. It's about to be a fight. But Daemon, so of course, it's about to be a fight. So all the knights, whoever's there, is trying to prevent the fight. But Daemon stops. Who was it? Sir Kirsten? Sir Kirsten was going to intervene, and Daemon stopped. And Daemon didn't even help in the fight. I don't know what that was for. Like, come on, man. Natural instinct is to go and protect her, but I suppose that Daemon wanted to let Rhaenyra stand her ground, and what better way than to learn to stand your ground if you're going to be a future queen. You need to be able to handle yourself in these types of situations. So I'm assuming that's what that was. But anyways, so Alicent was unable to get to the little boy, but she did cut Rhaenyra's hand. And I was like, oh my gosh, what? But the little boy, Aemon, is like, Mom, it's okay that I lost an eye. It was worth it. It was worth it because I gained a dragon. So this little boy is bad. Gonna have to watch him in the next couple of episodes, especially as he grow up. He is somebody to watch. He is a bad one. He don't care about hurting people's feelings. I'm telling you. So that happened. So now, what else is the highlight? Okay, so Alicent's father comes and talks to her and says that pretty much the day after Alicent tried to stab Rhaenyra's little boy, and after Alicent actually cut Rhaenyra, Alicent is like, oh my gosh, she's like, I'm not worthy of my throne, and I've displeased everybody. She's like on that because Alicent, she has, although she's not as innocent as in the first couple episodes, we know this now, but she's still, you can tell, struggling about okay, should I do these types of things or should I not? Her father basically said, I'm surprised you have this in you. Basically, he wants to see this part of Alicent. He wants to see this side of Alicent because this side of Alicent is the fighter that is going to be needed for their family. And her father is looking at a bigger picture. And so, he commends her, and probably it sounds like he encourages her to continue to be like that, right? So it's just straight up chaos. And I think the chaos comes from one, take it back to where Viserys was supposed to marry that Lena. Remember that fell through, and he went with his own way. He married Alicent. So now you got that family line coming into the picture. If it kind of went haywire when you put Sir Laenor with Rhaenyra as a husband, knowing that he's gay, knowing that there's going to be some difficulty, and there it was. And Rhaenyra kind of explains it in the episode, saying that she, of course, I said that. I said, what woman would want to be in the house? I said this in another review, y'all. What woman would want to be in the same house with a man, especially a husband, and you can't even be intimate with him? I mean, that is, I'm trying to tell you, that is something that's like, no, I don't think that's realistic. You know what I mean? Obviously it's not, because that's why Rhaenyra developed a friendship, a relationship, friends with benefits, whatever you want to call it, with the Knight Strong, who is now dead. So I'm glad they kind of explain that, because that way it wasn't just left up to the imagination that, oh, Rhaenyra is just hopping around. But as a woman, we kind of knew that. Like, come on now, you're gonna be married to a gay man. He's not interested in you in that way. And women, we have needs. I mean, come on. So not just needs like do, but like intimacy needs. It's an emotional level as well, not just a physical level. So if he can't provide in that way, then it's like, whoa, you're just like in a lost world. You're like, anyway. So now I'm going to end it with this. So now, all right, you see what the beasts are. And I'm talking about Rhaenyra. She's a beast because she goes to Daemon. Now, this is before they get married. This is before they do the do. But she's talking to Daemon and saying, listen, these are the Valerians of the sea, and we are of the fire. And she pretty much is telling Daemon, I am not a little girl anymore. And she's trying to convince him that we need to be together, and we need to form a bond, because we are of the same blood in a fire. And without us having a bond, the chaos that we see now is just going to escalate. It's going to escalate. And she's saying that she cannot fight. She called the Green, but basically it's Alicent, because you see where that's going. There's definitely going to be a war in the future with them. So by them being together full blood, which, I'm saying, that's her uncle. I do not, I'm saying, I'm not with that. but back then that was considered okay. And more full blood. And so they do. I'm pretty sure she's gonna be pregnant. I mean, they didn't say that, but come on now. I mean, you put two and two together, two and two, three and three. Come on now. So they were intimate first on the beach before they got married, and so I'm pretty sure she's gonna end up pregnant by this person. But here's the thing: Damien says to her, "Well, you can't do that unless your husband is dead." And she goes, "I know." And Damon kind of gives this smirk and kind of shocked too. I caught that. Like, I felt like he was kind of shocked. Like, whoa, how much of a beast is Rhaenyra? But here's the deal. This was clever. And I was like, oh my God. So Damon goes, again, he's in that Grim Reaper, honey. Whenever you see Damon in that Grim Reaper outfit, honey, he's about to do some sneaky work. All right. So that's why he was in his Grim Reaper outfit. And then he goes and he finds Sir Laenor's boyfriend. Remember, he has a boyfriend on the side. It's complicated, right? And pretty much puts some money in his hand and tells him, there's a place across the water, wherever this place is, that nobody knows your name. You can go live freely. And basically he's telling him to go and kill his boyfriend, which is, Sir Laenor. And I was like, oh my God, this is vicious here. I really thought they was going to kill him. I really did. I when I say vicious, like, okay, so the boyfriend goes, and this is in his father's chambers, in Sir Laenor's father's chambers. Okay, he goes in, and I said, oh my God, they started fighting with swords, and for a moment I thought maybe he would just kill him. Because Sir Laenor is a very good fighter. So I just thought, like, how are you going to defeat him? He's one of the best fighters. And so that makes sense when Damon said, just make sure there's witnesses. Keyword, witnesses. So basically, they start fighting. There's a little witness. I don't know, a little boy or somebody. I don't know. He's seeing them fighting. So he runs and goes tell the guards. And by the time Sir Laenor's mother comes in, honey, they done plopped a body that has been stir-fried, dried, fried, and refried, honey. It is totally burnt, all right? And I said, dang, how they had to burn him like that and put him in front of his parents. And I was like, okay, this is real. This is what we call Game of Thrones, honey, for real. This is no joke. So, but near the end, basically, it was like it was just a distraction, right? A distraction to make it like fake. He faked his own death, so that way he can. Oh, my earring fell, y'all. So I'm so excited. So that way he can go and be with his boyfriend in that far off land. So they kind of show that at the end. But I'm still thinking, like, man, there's some loose ends here. You don't think somebody down the road somewhere is going to find him unless he ends up dying. So that's the way that happened. Again, there was a lot happening in this episode. I tell you, a lot more than what I was expecting. There's some bag, and I'll end it with this. I truly appreciate whoever the director was, or I think probably for each of these episodes, you have different writers and different directors. It was very nicely done with the theatrics. I really appreciated that a lot. So anyways, I will see you at the next House of the Dragon review. Bye.